It's Angie, also known as The Light. Welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of the video called Forgiving Your Narcissistic Codependent Parents. My video cut off. First of all, my face was looking so fat in that last video. I promise you guys I didn't gain any more weight, okay? It's just a critical Leo moment. Yes, it's Leo season, guys. So I wonder who's my fellow Leos out there. My birthday's in 2 weeks. Can't wait. But anyway, back to the discussion of I was telling you how critical it is to forgive your narcissistic or codependent parents that basically jacked your life up. You know, jacked your childhood up, and you have to, because that is a key to moving on in your healing journey. Okay, so anyway, I was telling you guys about how I wasn't able to forgive my father. I harbored so much hatred towards my dad, my biological father, how he couldn't love me, wouldn't love me, was in and out, in and out, in and out of my life. You know what, when I think about it, my father might have been narcissistic and not codependent, you know, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. He was a jacked up individual, pretty much, that I still had to learn to forgive, okay? So it wasn't until my mom died, my mother passed away, and I think I might have told this story before briefly on my channel, but it wasn't until my mom passed away. My biological father died when I was 20. My mom died when I was 23. So at 23, I was still living in New York. New York is very expensive. And I probably, I had a job, but I lived from house to house for 1 year. So I finally gave up and was like, you know what? I'm going to ask my grandmother. Why in the hell would I ask my narcissistic grandmother if I can live with her? At the time, I didn't know what narcissism was, of course. I said, you know what? I don't really have much family. My brothers are helping me out. I didn't know who to turn to. My stepfather who raised me wasn't helping me out. Nobody was helping me out. And I literally was living from house to house, sleeping on people's floor, people's couches, all that crap, right? So I hit up I contacted my narcissistic grandmother, which is my father's mom. And I was just like, listen, I have a job, but I have nowhere to go. Do you have space? Can I temporarily come live with you? I literally had just got kicked out of somebody's apartment. You know, nothing quite that I did, but it just wasn't working out with that girl. I will tell that story another day. And she said, okay. And I said, but I had to say to her, I'll pay you rent though. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with paying, you know, your parents or relative rent. You know, you're grown, you're living with them. But just the fact that I literally had to ask this grandmother, it should have been an offer, you know, but it wasn't like that. I am, or was, the black sheep, the scapegoat grandchild. So she would have never came to me and asked me, do you need money? I wasn't even offered money. Or anything like that. After my mom died, I was living from house to house for a year. So, yeah, at 24, 25, about 24, 25, I came to live with my narcissistic grandmother, and I became the dumping ground for that narcissist. She treated my father like shit, so she treated me like shit. And it took years and years and years to realize that she was a narcissist and what a narcissist was. And I think I told this story before, how I literally found a book on narcissism in the narcissist grandmother's home. Looked at it, but didn't really read it. It was Sam Vaknin, I think that's how you say his name, book. And actually I have it right here. I've showed it before on my channel. Yeah, this is it. This was the book that I have it on my nightstand over here. This is the Malignant Self-Love, Narcissism Revisited, Sam Vaknin. Okay, and y'all know that Sam Vaknin is like he's like one of the goats when it comes to narcissism. You can look him up on YouTube as well. He's excellent. Okay, but anyway, it wasn't until I lived with this narcissistic grandmother that I was like, holy shit. Like, I knew my narcissistic grandmother was abusive because she wasn't good to me. Growing up, my whole life, she was not good to me. She did a lot of things to me. I've told this story before where, when my father died, my grandmother was the narcissist controlled all the money of the family. And she had life insurance policies on everybody. I wouldn't even be surprised if she had a life insurance policy on me before she died. And so whenever somebody died, she would give, that money to, their children or whoever. She would help out. She would pay for their funeral, whatever the case was. But when my father died, she didn't give me or my half-sister anything. My dad had a Mercedes Benz. My narcissistic grandmother went behind my back, took the old lease and my father's death certificate and sold my car for $10,000 and never gave me any of the money. I had the new lease, and it was my car, which I inherited from my father, and I didn't do anything about it because the person who bought the car from her could have been arrested for driving a stolen car. So the narcissist put me, the narcissistic grandmother put me in a lot of different things. Also, when my father died, all I got was $5,000. It was like a policy through, my dad was a correction officer. So it was like a death benefit of $5,000. And the narcissistic grandmother, came to me and, being dumb and codependent and being loving and caring, and regardless of what my father did to me, I still loved my father. I might have not liked him, but I still loved him. And she cried and she came to me and said, I don't know how I'm going to bury your father. I don't have enough money. And I heard that you're getting $5,000. Do you think maybe you can pay for his wake? Me being stupid and codependent, I paid $4,000 out of my $5,000 that was left to my biological father for his wake, when all along this time my grandmother was technically a millionaire because she owned so much property. She ended up even putting my father in a mausoleum. If y'all know what a mausoleum is, it's like when they have those houses in a cemetery where it's like a tomb, and they actually put the people in the walls, okay, which is very expensive. So if she didn't have the money, how could she turn around? And she bought 2 plots at once. I think I've told this story before. I mean, this narcissist played me like a freaking fiddle, guys. I mean, she played me like a PlayStation, okay? Played me like a game. And I had to go through all of this. And I had to say, wait a minute, hold on. And this was a part of my healing. This evil bitch did all of this to me. I could imagine what it was to come out the womb of this demon. My father came out the womb of this demon. Grew up with her. Had to live with her. Had to be raised by this demon. And I'm going to expect that he was going to love me and cherish me and treat me right? No. He was part demon himself. Yes, some of our parents are part demon themselves. Or full demon. So, you have to think to yourself, if my parents were abused, If my great-grandparents were abused and my grandparents were abused, you think they just gonna wake up one day and just be like, you know what, I was abused and I'm just gonna love my child? They don't know how. People can't give you things that they don't have. People can't tell you things that they don't know. And that's why we're here to know. That's why we're here to learn, and we're here to heal, so that way we don't keep making narcissistic babies and just passing these demonic entities on and on and on and on in our bloodline. And I'm not making excuses for your codependent parents or your narcissistic or your demon parents or however you want to acknowledge them as. I'm just saying this is why they did it to you. And until you acknowledge that and you sit in that and you think on it and you finally accept it, that's the only way you'll be able to move on, instead of going, but why did they do this to me? Why did they do that? Why did they do... We do this over and over and over and over. They didn't do it to you because you deserved it. They didn't do it to you because you deserved it. They didn't do it to you because you weren't lovable, because you're stupid, or you're not pretty, or you're not handsome, and you're not worthy. That's not why they did it. They did it because it was their nature to do it. It's their nature to do it. Yes, hurt people, abuse people, abuse people. And you know what motivated me to do this video, actually? I think I spoke about this a few videos back, of how I felt like I came across my twin flame this year. And I still believe he is my twin flame. No, we're not together. And it happens a lot. Not everyone ends up with their twin flame or their soulmate or whatever. So there's twin flames, there's karmic relationships, there's soulmates. And not all of us believe in that, but I do. I believe in it. And it's sad to say that my twin flame, we have a lot of things in common. We have a lot of things in common. That's why I feel like when I look at him, I'm looking at the old me, who I was before. And I feel like he came into my life to show me exactly what I need to heal from still, and what I have healed from. And I noticed that his mom was a Leo and I'm a Leo. And he would say things to me like, ugh, just like my mother, just like my mom. Yeah, my mom was a Leo. All Leo women are probably that way. And I was just like, that's abusive. That's abusive. You're basically putting what your mother did to you onto me. That's abuse. And that's when I realized, yeah, he was abused. He was abused. And I told him, until you learn to heal, until you learn to forgive your mother, you're not going to have successful relationships, friendships, or romantic relationships. And that's why I had to walk away, stand back from him. Because that's when I realized, we can't have a successful relationship. This guy's broken. This guy's broken. But yeah, I remember someone saying in my comments, oh, my twin flame's a narcissist. Sorry to disappoint you, he's not a narcissist. But we are still in communication. We're not in a romantic relationship any longer, but we're still in communication. And I'm praying for his healing. And you never know. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm not holding my breath. But that's what motivated me to do this video, because it's really painful to see when you love someone and they're still stuck on the past of what their parents did to them, their codependent or their narcissistic parents did to them. And yes, you still do have to forgive your codependent parents, even though you might have had a good relationship with your codependent parent. They did things that were abusive to you too. Because they were abused. They probably depended on you to make them happy, to comfort them. They remember us codependents, and I put myself in that category, even though I feel I'm healed from codependency, but we lack too. We didn't get that nurture as well as a narcissist. So your codependent parent literally depended on you to get that attention and that love and always wanting you there. I remember my mom always just needing me, wanting me there for something. And sometimes it made me feel guilty if I wanted to just be apart from her. But she craved me. Like, I need my daughter, I need you here. That wasn't just because I was just so beautiful, I'm just a sweet daughter. It wasn't because of that. It was the lack of never having that love and just always needing me, Did you see that fly? Always needing me. So, guys, I don't want my camera to cut off again, but I just want to say, please get a hold of the information of how your parents and your grandparents were raised. And that is one of the keys to the journey of you healing and you forgiving your narcissistic or your codependent parents. And I know this is a video that we don't like to listen to because it's some real shit. But sometimes I gotta be real. I can't be fun. I can't, be bashing a narcissist in every video. We have to check ourselves before we wreck our own selves. All right. So peace and blessings to everybody. And I will be making more videos. I'm going to work more on my channel. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, negatively, positively. I don't care. But if it's too negative, I will delete it. And if you'd like to make a donation, you can do so. My PayPal and Cash App information will be below this video. When you make a donation, I will email you. And you can tell me your topic or your questions, and I will do a video response for you. All right, guys. I miss you. I love you. Peace and blessings. Stay narc free.